What we're gonna do right now is a lot of people were asking if I would go through my road to 30 and listen to it and give you guys a little bit of retrospective on what we're hearing inside these commentaries from back in the day. So, if you don't know what my road to 30 is, my road to 30 is basically my entire life story, and pretty much every episode is 1 year of my life. And you can see as we go on and as I get older, the more significant things that I talk about in my life, and I go into a lot more greater detail. So let's go ahead and check out episode 1 and see exactly, where we're at, because what's this? This released March 2nd, 2013. It is now March. Oh, wow. That's weird. I started it in March, and now we're looking back at a retrospective. It's basically 7 years and 20 days later. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, am I going to do a road to 30? I'm living my road to 30. Y'all motherfuckers are part of my road to 40, yo. This is the road to 40. So, let's go ahead and take a little bit of a listen here. And, throughout this, I will pause it and, talk about some of the things that were on, mentioned in this video, and see if they're still relevant to my life today. So, can I put that on the screen first real quick, just in case if I upload this to YouTube? Dude, there are some people that tell me to this day that they can't see a Machinima intro without thinking that my MorninAfterKill lightning's coming in after that. What's up, guys? It's Jay, MorninAfterKill. Oh, God. This is my old mic. This is my blue snowball mic, and I was terrible at audio editing. So, I apologize to those of you guys that hear this. What's up, guys? It's Jay, MorninAfterKill, and I'd like to welcome you to the first episode of a brand new series on my channel called Road to 30. In this series, I'm basically going to give you an autobiography of my life. I'm going to tell you my life story and past experiences and things about my family and the decisions that I've made in my life that have come to shape my entire road to exactly the point that I am in my life right now. And by the time I'm done this series, I'm going to be 30 years old, which means that I'm 29 motherfucking years old. I've answered that a lot of times on my channel, and some people still ask. So yes, I am 29 years old. I will be 30 this year, and it's been a hell of a road. And did you hear that right there when I went? That was a transition of mine for a while. Like, it was a nervous tick that I used to do in my videos. Like, I didn't know how to get to the next topic. So instead of just cutting to the chase, I would just this year, and it's been a hell of a road. And I guess, with any story, we might as well start at the beginning. And every other movie you ever see that has somebody going through their past, I guess it's best to start with the parents. So I'm gonna give you a basic rundown of my my home life as a child, and what type of structure, or lack of structure I should say, about my my parental units in my childhood. So I might say some things in this video that you don't agree with. I know a lot of people are saying, you should. That is definitely true. I had to prepare some people because I speak very harshly about my mother in this series. And there are some people that really, really cannot fathom how somebody can harbor those types of feelings for a parent like that. So I definitely had to give a little bit of a warning there, because some people really didn't like it when I did that.
You should always love your parents unconditionally and never speak bad about them. And I agree. If you love your parents, do not speak badly about them. However, I do not really have a deep, profound, inset love for my parents or my family for that matter. And I will.
7 years later, I still feel the exact same way. My mom has been dead for 5 years now, and I don't miss her at all. Not one bit.
I'll explain why in these videos. So let's start off with my dad. I've already mentioned this a lot on my channel, and it used to really hurt me as a kid. Like, I used to really think, like, growing up without a dad, because I don't know my dad. I think I have maybe, like, 1 or 2 memories that actually have my father in them, but
this is crazy, because after I spoke to my father for the first time in like 30 years, a few extra memories sprung up in my mind when I was talking to him, which was crazy. So I did have a couple extra memories of my father that I did not think I had. They were kind of buried down in my head like that.
I never really spoken to him. I was too young to really actually, like, be like, hey, what's going on, man?
I've actually recently spoke to my father. I think it was like right around the time when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Shortly thereafter, though, my father did pass away from some sort of brain tumor and or cancer. However, my father was able to do something that my mother was never able to do, and he did actually apologize for not being there and being a shitty father. So, even though I didn't get any closure with my mother, I actually did get a fair bit of closure with my father through a 1 hour conversation, about an hour and a half with him. And honestly, I was a little bit mad at my brother when my brother contacted my dad, and then my dad contacted me. But looking back at it now, it's nice to have that closure. So let's go ahead and move on here.
What do you like? What do you do? Like, I know a few things about him. Like, he's a Philadelphia fan, and that's where I get being a Philadelphia fan. He's actually a mechanic, and that's where I get my natural mechanical abilities from. Outside of that, I don't really know him. Never really met him, never really lived with him. Like I said, I've been around him like once or twice in my life, very, very young, and no actual memories of the motherfucker. So there's no reason to dwell on him, because I've already gotten past that. Like, as a kid growing up without a father,
I actually thought that I've gotten past a lot of my dad issues, but going through my road to 30, I actually got to dig up some of my road to 30 issues, and I dealt with them, and doing the road to 30 actually really helped me get a little bit of insight on my own life, and even an outside perspective of from other people commenting things while I'm saying it. They're like, hey man, did you ever consider this? And I'm like, oh man, I never really looked at it from that way. So the road to 30 not only helped me gain some introspective on my own life, but it also gave me a different perspective on my life from you guys in the comment sections on my YouTube channel. So that definitely helped out over the years with clearing up and dealing with a lot of my mental health issues.
You always look at your friends and your dads and you're like, man, I wish I could go do that, blah, blah, blah. But I got to partake in a lot of those activities with my friends and my friends' dads. Like, going to a first baseball game. Me and my friends, we actually made like a little yard sale, and we sold little trinkets that we found around the house that we were allowed to sell. Nothing really big, and we all raised $8, which was enough to go to my
$8 was enough to go to a Phillies game in the nosebleed seats at Veterans Stadium in... Well, shit, I was hanging out with Philip and Gary at that time, which were my childhood friends from back around the way in White City. So, let's see. we were still living up top of the waterbed store at the time. So that's got to be around, like, I had to have been like 8 at the time, 7. So you're talking about like 1990, 1991. So that's about 30 some years, about 30 years ago, almost on the nose that we're talking about. It was $8 to go to a yard sale. And I mean, to go to a yard sale, to go to a goddamn fucking baseball game. And, we set up a stupid yard sale and sold shitty things from around the house that basically the neighbors just came over and gave us money so we could go to the fucking baseball game. But, whatever. Yeah, I ain't gonna fucking spit in no fucking gift horse's fucking face,
My first Philadelphia Phillies game. That's right. $8 to go to a Philly, and it was nosebleed seats all the way up at the top of the Veterans Stadium. It was it was the worst seats ever. Phillies versus Dodgers. I think Phillies won. Yeah, Phillies won that game. I think it was something like 7-1. Big.
Pete Incaviglia hit a home run down to the left hand side. I remember that because we were sitting in nosebleed seats on the first baseline, and he hit it down to the third baseline to the home run, and that was my first home run I ever saw live in person.
Blowout, really big blowout, but that's not the topic of the commentary. That's not what we're talking about. Like I said, growing up without a father, I was just like, I was angry at the world. I was like, wow, I couldn't have a dad. Then growing up, I kind of realized after living with my mother that my mother is not a very nice person. She is the type of person that will throw you under the bus to make.
I'm not laughing at the fact that my mom's not a nice person, but let me show you. This game that I was playing here was one of the most funnest games I've played. It was free on fucking Xbox 360 Live Arcade. And this dude that I'm playing as, it was like a fucking cel-shaded third-person shooter. And watch this. This is considered a melee special weapon.
Angry at the world. I was like, wow, I couldn't have that. Then growing up, I realized after living with my mother,
Let me go, hold on. Let me go mute this real quick. Because look. Oh, that shit's fucking two jokes.
Growing up without a father, I was just like, I was angry at the world. I was like, wow, I couldn't have a dad.
I wish they'd bring that game back.
I realized after living with my mother that my mother is not a very nice person. She is the type of person that will throw you under the bus to make herself look better. That is just the type.
My mother was like that all the way to the end. After my mother was dead and we looked at her Facebook page, she went on like my Facebook and like my brother's Facebook and shit, and like she would download pictures that we would put up, like recent pictures of our kids, and then she would post it to her Facebook and be like, oh, look at my grandson and my fucking granddaughters are growing up beautiful, and the people were like, oh my god, your family is so lovely, blah blah blah, yada yada bing bang. And here the thing is, my mom's only met my son twice in her entire life, and I don't think she's ever met any of my brother's kids outside of the fact that one of them was a baby, and I met my brother's kid at the same time that she did. But that kid now is like 18 years old, and that was a long ass time ago. So my mother definitely was one of the fakest persons you'll ever meet in your life.
Person my mother is, and my mother is actually a pretty decent person outside of family relationship, but there's an ongoing theme in my family that, people in our family are crippled towards maintaining a relationship towards each other, and that's just because my family has never really had, like, any type of family structure there. So, let's move on to my mom.
Honestly, I don't think it has to do with family structure. It's just that there was just some terrible people in my family. I hate to say, it's just there was some terrible things going on.
I've already told you, like, my mom's not really the greatest person. I stopped living with my mom when I was like 16 years old. I moved out. I kind of bounced around from friend house to friend house. Like, it was pretty alright. It was alright because, I got out in the world on my own very, very young. And
if you listen to that, you can hear me trying to make excuses for that. It was not all right. Okay, I tried to downplay, what it was like to be like 15, 16 years old out on your own, couch surfing from friend's house to friend's house. But now that I have a stable life and I own my own house, I definitely can look back and say that it was not all right at all. So let's go ahead and
the greatest person. I stopped living with my mom when I was like 16 years old. I moved out. I kind of bounced around from friend house to friend house. Like, it was pretty alright. It was alright because, I got out in the world on my own very, very young. And it's prepared me for a lot of situations that
Why do I sound like fucking Trump there making excuses? I got out in the world very, very young.
On my own very, very young. And it's prepared me for a lot of situations that I didn't think I'd probably be able to handle if I didn't go through them. So, like I said, every little bit of this...
That is true, though. Some of the things I went through in my early life actually... like, if I didn't go through them, I don't know if I would have made it through some of the harsher things that I experienced later on in my early adulthood. So, my teenage years definitely battle-hardened me for the oncoming onslaught of just garbage that came flowing my way in life.
Decision that has gone along my entire way through my life has actually been pretty decent decisions. Like, I've fucked up.
You hear me lying to myself? I've made actually decent decisions in my life. No. Looking back after doing the road to 30, I probably got what I deserved most of the time. Now, granted, there was some really bad breaks that I took in life that weren't my fault. However, a lot of the decisions that I made were definitely my own doing.
Decision that has gone along my entire way through my life has actually been pretty decent decisions. Like, I've fucked up a whole hell of a lot. But, considering where I am today, I think I'm doing pretty damn good. I mean, I'm not hurting for money. We're not, like, in desperate, dire straits of fucking going to the poorhouse. So, you know what? All the bullshit that I've gone through...
That's something that you can see right here about the younger version of me versus who I am today right here. The younger version of me defined having my bills paid as being successful. And now that I've grown from that to a homeowner and a fiscally responsible person that is, gathering and generating their own, personal wealth in life, I've come to realize that there's just way more important things in life than money, for sure. So, that's definitely a big change that I would say from this point to where I am now in this, in this world. Like, that's definitely changed for sure.
Also, you know what? All the bullshit that I've gone through since I was a kid has made me a very strong motherfucking person, very strong, and actually a very, I don't know, a determined person to not go back to the type of poverty that I grew up in. So,
you can hear my voice break right there when I say the poverty. When I admit to myself that I grew up in actual factual poverty, listen to that.
Person, very strong, and actually a very, I don't know, a determined person to not go back to the type of poverty that I grew up in. So, like I said,
You heard that?
to the type of poverty that I grew up in. So, like
I
I
was
said,
choking it
poverty,
back.
growing up, my mother was about 16 years old when she got pregnant with my brother. She had him when she was 17. Then she got pregnant again with me when she was 19, I believe.
When she was 18, had me when she was 19.
So my mom was not very, she was not very safe with sex. She got pregnant at a very, very young age.
I guess my mom wasn't really much for the rubbers back in the day.
And it's probably the reason why she's not a very good parent is because she was actually a teenager when, the parental pregnancy was thrust upon her.
The parental pregnancy was thrust upon her. Wow, you can see when I used to when I was really new to commentary and holding a conversation like this, I would just instead of trying to just catch my words and stop my thoughts and gather what I wanted to say, I would just try to flow it off of word from word to word, and you would get jumbled up garbage like this every now and again.
I was actually a teenager when, the parental pregnancy was thrust upon her, and she had to assume the role of matriarch because my grandpa and my grandmom would not allow her to live.
Had to assume the role of matriarch. What the fuck, man? Who the fuck is this? Where did my lingo come from? I don't still talk like this, do I?
To assume the role of matriarch because my grandpa and my grandmom would not allow her to live in the house while she was pregnant and unwed. And she actually married my dad. And then once my dad found out she was pregnant with me, he kind of split, which kind of makes me think, I know you guys are going to be like...
That is true. This is something that's always racked my brain over the years, is how my brother, my father can live with my mother and my brother for 2 years, and then as soon as I come along, my dad's like, nah, yo, I'm not dealing with this bullshit. But after talking to my father, last year or the year before, whatever it was, is probably about 18 some months ago, maybe even 2 years ago now. But anyway, when I talked to my father, he told me that it was just, at that point, she hid the pregnancy from him. She didn't tell him that, that she was pregnant, and their relationship was already sliding downhill at that point. So it's not like he's the pregnancy wasn't a major factor in why he was leaving. He already was done with that shit way before then. So that's actually something that I worked out with my father over the phone during that conversation. Because I was like, how can you, stick around for 2 years with my brother, and as soon as I'm fucking, I pop up, you gotta bounce? And he was like, nah, man, it wasn't even like that. It wasn't like that.
Which kind of makes me think, I know you guys are gonna be like, what the fuck, Morning? You should be on Jerry fucking Springer. But alright, listen to this. My mom, like I said, she is not easy to live with.
This shit's about to go crazy off the wall right here. I can hear it in my tone of voice that I'm about to start talking some crazy shit.
Not. My mom's a total bitch. She really is. And I've told my mom to her face that she's a total bitch. And it's the reason why I only talk to my mom once a year. I'm serious. Once a year.
Not no more. My mom's dead. So I haven't talked to her in 5 years. However, an interesting side note to that is the last time I talked to my mother, she asked me, she goes, how come you never tell me that you love me before we hang up on the phone? And I was like, don't do that to yourself. Don't ask these questions. And she was like, it's because you don't, do you? And I was like, yeah, I gotta go. I fucking hung up on her. And that's the last thing I ever, heard from my mother was, her questioning whether or not I love her, which is no. No, the answer is no, I do not love my mother. That's why I call her mother and not mom or mommy or anything like that. It's a mother. And I gave her the chance, during that conversation, the last conversation I had where I told her, I was like, I'm willing to put this in the past. And it's the same thing I said to my dad. I was like, look, I'm willing to forgive. All I need to hear from you is that you were a bad parent. And at first my dad was like, yeah, I don't think I was that bad of a dad. And I was like, bitch, this is the first time I'm talking to you in 30 years. And he was like, well, you got me there. And I was like, you damn right I got you there, motherfucker. The fuck you think this is? And then, when I had that conversation with my mother, she was like, I refused. She's like, I was a good mother. I did everything I could. And I was like, just because you did your best doesn't mean you did good. Same thing with me in Call of Duty. People think that I'm throwing in Warzone, but I'm not. I'm just not good at the game.
It's a year. She'll call me at like 3 in the morning, leave a message on my answer machine. The cat scratched me.
That is a true story. My mother did call me at 4 o'clock in the morning one morning asking me to take her to the hospital because a cat scratched her. And then we found out the reason that the cat scratched her is after she died, she was dead in her bed for 3 weeks before anybody found her, right? And then when they busted open her door to do a wellness check, like 16 cats went running out, and she was hoarding the neighbors' cats. Like when the neighbors let their cat out, she would let them in and never let them out. So that's why the cat was scratching her. The cat didn't want to live there with her. My mother was stealing the neighborhood motherfucking cats. Like my mother was absolutely batshit crazy, dude.
I need to go to the hospital. Motherfucker, I live 45 minutes away from you. If you need to go to the hospital, call the goddamn ambulance. If it's not an emergency, then why are you calling me? Like, seriously?
Thank you. If you have an emergency, I live 45 minutes away from you. Call the motherfucking ambulance. If it's not an emergency, bitch, why the fuck are you calling me?
Seriously, really, that's just she's a really weird motherfucker. So anyway, like I was saying, she was with my father and my brother, and they were like a happy family. And then my mom got pregnant, and then all of a sudden my dad split, which makes me think that my mom, who is a twin of my aunt, they're twins, makes me think that since right around the same time, my aunt's boyfriend split town. He split, and my cousin doesn't know who his father is either. Now check this out. Me and my cousin, we look almost dead alike. Like,
okay, I can explain this. I talked to my dad. My dad said he doesn't believe that my mother cheated on him with anybody at all, and he was, plowing my mother on a daily and regular basis. Is basically what my father assured my father. I still don't think he's my dad, but I don't want to try to get a fucking DNA test, and dude, what would they be like? They put a DNA test in and they're like, yo, there's like 35 kids out there looking for you. Nah, just but no, definitely. This is no longer a theory. I also asked my dad about my cousin's dad, and he said he was just some asshole that, fucking my aunt plowed, and just one night stand type of deal. So
I mean, I understand because my mom are twins, the genes are going to be shared, and like we have a possibility of looking alike.
That's literally exactly what it is. Now that we've grown older, me and my cousin do not look anything alike. In fact, my cousin looks like my grandpa now. Yeah, I guess I could show a picture of what I call Grandpa Joe. Fucking my cousin, but let me see. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of my cousin. Yeah. We looked alike growing up. We we no longer look alike at all. Uh he is my cousin and he's only 39 years old, 38. 38. But he looks like my grandpa now. So, uh definitely do not share the same father. Right there, I can vouch for that. So this portion of the road to 30 is no longer valid. However, we've gained quite a bit of insight on the first 7 minutes of this episode, so let's just listen out and see what type of bullshit we're gonna finish out this video with.
Like, but what I think that happened is I think my mom one night fucked my aunt's boyfriend, got pregnant with me, and my dad was like, fuck this shit, I am not raising a kid that's not mine, and he bounced, which would make a lot of sense because my brother and myself, we don't look alike. We really do not look alike.
We do not. Me and my brother definitely do not look alike. I think I do have a picture of my brother around here. If not, I can pull one up, because he shows his face now on Twitch, so that's not a big deal anymore. So let me fuck, man, I'm gonna have to log in on fucking Facebook on an incognito window. God damn it. Hold on, let's do this. Let me go to Rizzo. Yeah, here. Let me screenshot that. Cause you can see in this picture that my brother and my sister definitely both look alike. I've made a video on this before, but my brother and my sister both definitely look alike. However, I don't look like either one of them, and she is my half-sister. Supposedly me and her have the same dad. I don't see it. We've never both saw it, but I still love her like a sister. You know what I mean? Like, that'll never fucking... Even if she isn't blood, that'll never change, yo. You know, that's fucking... But, you know... I don't know. I really don't see it there. I don't see it at all. The only person I actually look like in my family, now that I've gotten older, is my Uncle Ed. Let me go ahead and pull up a picture of Ed here. Let me, This is a picture of my Uncle Ed when he was about my age right now. He was about 36 in this picture. Definitely, if you gave me a porn stash and a feathered and lethal haircut, you could see that we both definitely share features. Yeah. Me and Ed definitely share features. We got the same nose. We got the same eyes and eyebrows. Like, if you cover all that up right there, like, you know what I mean? We have very similar features. But when it comes to like my brother and my sister, I still question whether or not that my father, the father that claims me is my father, but he assures me that it's not. But, you know, maybe one day I'll get the DNA tested. But it's not really too important to me, honestly, because whether or not my brother is my full brother or my half brother, like, it doesn't change any of the fucking memories that we've gone through in our lives. And whether or not my sister is my half sister or, you know, just my brother's sister, that doesn't change any of the memories or things that we've gone through together in our lives. So I don't subscribe to the fact that you need to be blood with somebody to, actually be family with them. And, the funny thing is now that I've, been talking to my brother more these days than I used to growing up, I like my brother a lot better as a friend than I do a family member. Like, just having him as somebody to, talk to, fucking stop by his stream, or he'll stop by my stream, message on Facebook every now and again or some shit like that, chop it up about sneakers or whatever. Honestly, it's better. We have a better relationship as buddies than we do as brothers. So definitely don't think that blood means anything to you in life. But that doesn't mean that I don't fucking, I don't care about my brother or anything at all. I definitely care about my brother and shit like that. But I'm not going to fucking admit that to him. Fuck him.
I don't care a lot of the same traits, especially since my brother is very, very dark. He's like a dark olive brown skin, and I am whiter than him. I am the whitest motherfucker you have ever seen.
My brother is no longer olive skinned. He is paler than a motherfucker from not going out in public anymore, playing video games all day long like I do. So that definitely was just a part of his active lifestyle. My brother was just outside all the fucking time.
Seen in my life, like, I am pale. You can see through my skin. You can see my veins popping out through my skin. It's like,
that is 100% true. You can see the veins through my fucking skin. I am literally that fucking pale.
Hulk Hogan is like, I am a real American. No! We are not singing in the Road to 30. Told you guys that. I'm not.
We do sing in the Road to 30.
Stop making me sing. But like I said, there is a lot of confusion around, like, my dad, my aunt, and her kid. Nobody, she has never come out and said who the father of my cousin is, which is weird.
My aunt took that to her grave. My aunt, she died, 2006-ish? She took that to her grave. She has never told anybody who my cousin's father is. I don't even know if he knows. I never asked him, but, according to everybody, the lore of our family is nobody knows.
Because, now nobody's ever gonna know because...
my father thinks he knows the dude, but, fucking nobody knows for certain, because she has never confirmed that at all.
My aunt is actually dead now, so she cannot actually come out and say what actually happened, so it will remain a buried family secret forever. Is my cousin, who is the fucking son of my mom's twin, really my half-brother? And is my...
It does not look like this is the fact at all, since we've already seen, footage from Grandpa Joe. He does not look anything like me at all. He ended up looking more like my grandpa, so don't think that we share the same father at all.
Brother, who is the son of my father with my mother, is he actually my half-brother? Or are we really brothers? Or are all of us half-brothers? Or is anybody full-blooded? We don't even know. The world may never know. So, unless my mom continues to be the person that she is and keep a secret, like I said, we will not know. But if she feels like making a confession one day, or if she listens to the video and she's like, man, he broke it down, he figured it out, he got the Da Vinci Code, then you know what? Maybe we'll find out. Maybe this series will be the catalyst to find out exactly what happened surrounding that circumstance.
This series was not the catalyst for finding out what happened in that circumstance. My mother did not become a good person and start spilling any of the secrets, and my aunt did take it to a grave. So, the answer to whether or not any of that is true or not is it doesn't matter, because there's no way. The only way to confirm that would be through DNA testing, and neither me, my brother, nor my cousin honestly really give a fuck enough to really know who the fuck is doing what in our lives. So everybody's happy. My brother's doing well for himself. He's been growing his Twitch channel off of a game called, I think it's Vigor or something like that. So no big deal, you know? Let it ride.
Because I do know that my brother, who found me through my YouTube 10 years...
That is a true fact. My brother was looking up Borderlands stuff for one of his roommates because they were looking for, I guess, how to do something in the game. And my brother looked up a Borderlands video and he was like, yo, I know that dude. And he was like, you don't know that fucking dude. And he was like, dude, that's my fucking brother. And he's like, no, it's not. And he started listening more. He's like, this is my fucking brother. And he listened to my Road to 30 and he hit me up. And he was like, he hit me up on Xbox 360 and he was like, yo, I'm your brother, dude. Hit me back. And I was like, you know, I thought it was a troll. I was like, you ain't my brother, whatever. And then fucking he hit me up with a fucking message that, like, basically said everything about who I was and a fucking phone number that called me. It's like, all right. I called him. I was like, yo. He's like, yo. I was like, oh, shit. It really is you. So, if I never made my YouTube channel, I probably would have never got back into contact with my brother over the years. So, that's actually kind of cool. It's a cool side note to the Road to 30.
Years later, after not seeing him for 10 years, he found me through YouTube. I made a video about that before. Fucking crazy. Mind boom, blown, right? He watches my videos now, so he might actually be watching this series, and he might call up my mom and be like, yo, he's talking mad shit about you on the internet.
He did not call up my mom and tell her that I was talking mad shit about her on the internet. My brother actually did not talk to my mother like as often as like I do as well, like back in the day. So we both kept our distance, which is something that I wasn't aware of at the time. And here's the funny thing is I don't think my mother was actually ever aware of my YouTube channel at all in my life. Like I tried to tell her once, but she didn't like understand what I was saying. So my mother never used the internet, so I was like, whatever.
And then fucking, because my brother is kind of like my mom. He will throw you underneath the bus just to make himself a little bit better at that point in time.
My brother's gotten better at this. I don't think my brother's thrown me under the bus at all since we've reconnected as adults. But back in the day, yo, my brother would definitely fucking throw you under the bus to get out of trouble or something like that.
And you know that's true. If you're watching this, you know it's true. You know, everybody in our family does it, right? Yeah. So, my name is Jay, MorninAfterKill, and those are my fucked up parents and my fucked up childhood. So, I want you guys to throw a thumbs up on this video. It is my first episode of my Road to 30, where I'm gonna give you my raw and unedited autobiography story. So, like I said, my name is Jay, MorninAfterKill. Make sure you guys rate, comment, subscribe. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys later.
Okay, so about 3/4 of this video still hold pretty true. We do have different values on what means to be successful these days, because, you know, you heard myself, I thought just not having bills at the moment meant that I was successful. Like, I was talking about this at a point in time where I didn't even own my house. Like, I was just renting my house. I didn't have, like anything, like, crazy in life, you know? I was just not homeless. And that was success to me. That was success to me at that point. However, being 36, almost 37 years old now, 7 years later after this, my measure for success definitely isn't so much as tied to monetary gain as much as it is to, you know, where you're at mentally in life. And I feel like we're in a pretty good place mentally in life. We had the health scare last year. Right now, we are quite a few pounds down. If we go and take a look at, you know, like I said, me and 9K last year, let's pull that picture up. This is about August time, right before Borderlands 3 came out. You can definitely see we have lost quite a bit of weight since then, and I feel like I'm in a better place now than I was a year ago. And I feel like that's that's not success, but it's we're on the right fucking path to where I want to be in life. And whether or not that means that I'm ultra popular on YouTube or Twitch, you know, that's not important to me anymore. As much as I want to ensure that I live a lot longer life than I would doing living the same type of life I was a year, 2 years ago. Sitting here playing video games and forcing myself to play video games that I really wasn't enjoying at the time. I was playing Borderlands 2 7 years after the game came out. It was physically making me sick to my stomach to play that game. And then Borderlands 3 came out, and I really enjoyed that. And then my enjoyment just went downhill from that. And I was like, I can't get stuck in this pattern again. Even though, Borderlands 3, the numbers were great. The fucking views were awesome on YouTube. We were holding like 500 to 1,000 viewers on fucking Twitch. And, we had almost 2,000 paid subscribers on Twitch and shit like that. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy doing that. And once the Malawan takedown came out, and it just felt hollow. Everything felt hollow from that point on. And I was like, you know what? I need to step back from doing this, and I need to move forward without, forcing myself to do things that don't make me happy. Because that's, that might make you money, but money doesn't make you happy. Money doesn't make you successful. You know what I mean? So I've learned that in life. And right now, I think I would say I would put more value on health being wealth in terms of success. And I'm working towards, increasing my health wealth and living for a lot longer because, I think subconsciously there for a while when I was eating poorly, I was like kind of slowly just kind of like killing myself, but not really like doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm too much of a bitch to just go fucking throw myself off a fucking house or something. You know what I mean? Like, and I think about like, oh man, fucking all stupid shit like that, So I just fucking sat there fucking eating like a big fat fuck, And I wasn't really worried about where my decline of health was going. Until I ended up in the hospital with a doctor looking straight at me with a straight face and saying, if you don't change, you're going to die. So, yeah, I think after having the health scare last year, I definitely put a lot less weight on money when it turns to success. And, we've actually seen that with me paring down some of my shoe collection. You can see there's a little couple holes back here, a couple shoes that I've been shipping out. I've been going through, taking catalog, and, really trying to get my shoe collection down to where I have only the shoes that are necessary, but also I can cash in the other shoes because I really want to make my dream of having my own shoe design come out in my own brand, not any other brand out there. I want to make that a reality for myself. And that's what I want to do right now is I want to take, majority of my collection and sell it to fund and finance the creation of my own shoe and sneaker brand for, that's what I want to do from 2020 and on this decade is I want to focus more on lifestyle, fitness, and fashion, and how that also kind of ties in with a gamer lifestyle. There's a lot of gamers out there that are looking like me right now, kind of pudgy, out of shape, possibly having some health issues on the horizon, maybe before they already had the health issues in the past horizon, or maybe you're heading towards that horizon. But I kind of want to kind of want to move my channel into a more IRL feel on YouTube and Twitch. And that's what we've been doing with this whole just chatting and, playing all the games that I wanted to go back and play, the retro games and the Zeldas and some of my favorite personal games in the past. We're not probably going to get the most viewers on a fucking 25-year-old game like Link's Awakening, but you know what? Those people that are here to enjoy that type of shit, you're going to go on, a pretty cool adventure with me, of nostalgia. I think that's really cool to be able to share that with you guys. And whether or not, somebody's into that or they just want to come by for Borderlands, I'd rather just do what I want to do. And, if you want to watch Borderlands, there's plenty of other people out there that can, I can get you some Borderlands content that are making great Borderlands content out there. I can't do it, man. My mental health is more important at this point in anything, and I'm not going to do that. So, my name is Jay, MorninAfterKill. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys rate, comment, subscribe. If you could leave a thumb up on the video, I'd highly appreciate it, because it gives me motivation to make more videos for y'all motherfuckers that watch my motherfucking videos. But this was episode 1 of my Road to 30 in retrospective. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, because we're going to go through this entire series, and we're going to do it live on Twitch like we did here tonight, and do it episode by episode, and, really kind of dig into this and give you guys a feeling of where I'm at in my life compared to where I was at when I was telling these stories, and where I was at, prior to, prior to me making these series back in the day, when I was actually living this shit. So, my name is Jay, MorninAfterKill. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to see y'all motherfuckers later.